Have you ever wondered why silence hurts more than words? Why a man walking away without saying a single thing can echo louder in a woman's mind than any apology, any plea, any fight? That's because silence forces reflection. And reflection is where regret lives. When you walk away without a word, that's when she truly feels it. Not when you argue, not when you cry, but when you disappear without explanation, calm, controlled, and cold. See, most men beg, most men plead. They hold on, hoping that love, history, or shared memories will be enough to bring her back. But when you beg, you hand over your power. You tell her she was right to leave. You validate her choice. You confirm that you needed her more than she needed you. And that's where you lose. But you're not most men. You're done performing. You're done proving. You're done explaining yourself to someone who already made the decision to walk away. A stoic man doesn't chase closure. He becomes it. There's a reason the quiet departure leaves a deeper scar than an emotional outburst. Because silence is uncertain. It's unsettling. It doesn't give her the satisfaction of watching you break. It forces her to sit with her own guilt, her own doubts. And while she's stuck wondering if you're hurting, if you're healing, or if you've already moved on, you're just building. Quietly, relentlessly, stoically. She thought she'd see you unravel, but you went still. You went silent. And that's what's driving her insane, because silence isn't just absence. It's presence that can't be touched. It's weight without noise. It's power, real power, the kind that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. This video isn't about how to get her back. It's not about games. This is about becoming a man who doesn't need anyone to validate his worth. A man who suffers in silence, and in that silence, evolves. This is about you standing in the fire and choosing not to scream, not to plead, not to chase, but to rise. If you're done being the one who always explains, the one who always bleeds just to prove he cared, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now let's begin. Number 1. Silence is the loudest response. She expected you to react, to call, to send that long message explaining your pain. She thought you'd ask why, beg for another chance, or at least try to understand. Because that's what most men do. That's what she's used to. Men chasing after her validation, needing to be heard, needing to be seen. But you gave her something she didn't expect. Silence. And that silence, it's louder than any scream. It hits harder than any insult, because it shows her that you don't owe her closure, that you don't need her approval to move on. You walked away not out of spite, but out of strength. No words, no scene, just distance, just discipline. Stoicism teaches that you only control your own thoughts and actions. You do not control her choices, her emotions, or her behavior. So why respond to chaos with chaos? Why give her more energy when she already took enough? When you walk away without saying a word, you're telling her, "You are no longer worth my voice." And that shakes her. Now she sits with the silence, and it speaks louder each day. It whispers questions she can't answer. Did I misjudge him? Why didn't he fight for me? Has he already found someone better? Does he even care? And the truth? You don't owe her a single answer. She's not used to that. She's not used to men who disappear with dignity. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. Your silence is a mirror. It forces her to look at herself, to question her actions, to sit with the consequences. You're not hurting her with noise. You're haunting her with stillness. And when you master that, you become unforgettable. If you're done trying to prove your worth through words, if you're ready to speak through silence, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Number 2, emotion is a weapon. Don't let it be hers. The moment you react emotionally, you hand her the remote control to your mind. You think you're showing how much you care, but what you're really showing is that she has power over you. Every outburst, every angry text, every late-night call, She sees it for what it is, proof that she still owns space in your head. And the more you bleed emotionally, the more she pulls away. Because attraction doesn't live in chaos, it dies there. Stoicism teaches you to master your inner world, to stand firm in the face of external storms. When she pulls back, goes cold, or disrespects you, your silence and calm aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of dominance. You're telling her, I do not rise or fall based on how you treat me. That's power. Unshakable, unsettling power. Understand this. She wants a reaction. Even anger means she still matters. But when you show none, when your face is unreadable, your energy withdrawn, your emotions locked behind steel doors, that's when the game flips. Now she's emotional. Now she's spiraling because she can't get a read on you. She can't control what she can't predict. You can't out-argue her. You can't out-emote her. That's her battlefield. You win by refusing to play. You win by keeping your state steady, unmoved, unaffected, uninterested. And when she sees that nothing she says or does gets under your skin, she'll start to question herself. That's when regret creeps in. Let her feel that void. Let her realize that she doesn't own your emotions anymore. That's when she'll start to miss what she thought she could easily replace. If you're done letting people use your emotions against you, if you're ready to move with calm precision and power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My emotions belong to me. Number 3, you don't chase what's already yours. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't negotiate for love. Why? Because what's truly his never needs to be hunted down. The moment you start chasing, you communicate one thing loud and clear. I believe you're above me. And the second she senses that imbalance, she loses respect. Attraction fades. Your value drops. Not in reality, but in her perception. And perception is everything. See, when a woman pulls away, she's testing your frame. She wants to see if you'll fold, if you'll fall apart, if you'll come crawling back just to keep her. That's not love. That's power play. And the man who chases confirms her power. But you're not chasing. Because you understand the law of value, what you pursue runs, what you pull back from reconsiders. It's in that silence, in that stillness, where the real reversal begins. When you stop showing up, when you stop trying, when you start focusing entirely on yourself, that's when she starts feeling the imbalance. Not because you punished her, not because you ghosted, but because you let go without fear. This is where stoicism and dark psychology intersect. The less available you are, the more valuable you become. The less you need her, the more she questions if she ever had you in the first place. And those doubts, that's what shifts the dynamic. You're not running after what walked away. You're not convincing someone to love you. If she can't see your worth, she was never ready for it. You don't chase what's already yours. You let it come back, or you keep walking. If you're done begging for what should have been given freely, if you're ready to stand firm in your worth, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I do not chase, I attract. Number 4, pain is the forge of power. Let's be real, she hurt you. Whether she walked away, replaced you, or simply stopped caring, it cut deep. And yeah, that pain, it's real. But here's the truth most men never realize. Pain isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's the spark. Because the man who feels pain but doesn't collapse, he becomes something else. Something stronger, something colder, something untouchable. Pain isn't your enemy. Weakness is. Self-pity is. Waiting for someone to come back and fix what they broke. That's what keeps you stuck. But when you take that pain and let it harden you, not in a bitter way, but in a focused, driven, calculated way, you become lethal. That heartbreak becomes fuel. Every sleepless night, that's your edge. Every unanswered message, that's motivation. You're not falling apart. You're being forged. Stoicism doesn't tell you to pretend you're not hurting. It tells you to use that hurt, to refine your judgment, strengthen your mindset, and deepen your discipline. You stop looking outward for comfort and you start building inward. She left? Fine. Let her watch from a distance as you evolve into the version of yourself that no longer even thinks about her. Because one day she'll check in, maybe silently, maybe through a, "Hey, just wondering how you've been" text. And what will she see? Not the broken man she expected, but someone sharper, healthier, focused, unavailable. She'll feel the distance, and that distance will be the very thing she created and now regrets. Let the pain mold you. Let it strip away your softness and expose your strength. Because once a man rises from heartbreak, untouched by emotion, grounded in purpose, there's no stopping him. If you're done suffering in silence, if you're ready to turn pain into progress, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My pain builds my power. Number 5. Your attention is her mirror. Your attention is currency. It's energy. And whether you realize it or not, every time you give it to her, especially after she's walked away, you're saying, you still control the narrative. But when you pull it back, when you stop texting, stop watching her stories, stop reacting, stop checking her page, that silence becomes a mirror. Suddenly, she has to sit with herself, with her choices, with the void where your energy used to be. Women feel your absence louder than your presence when that presence was taken for granted. She might have rolled her eyes when you double texted, ignored you when you were consistent. But now the dopamine drops. Now the validation's gone. Now she starts wondering, why isn't he watching anymore? Why hasn't he reached out? Is he already over me? That's when the discomfort kicks in. That's when the regret starts. You don't need to unfollow. You don't need to block. That's reaction. What you do is disengage, quietly, smoothly, no announcement, no drama. You just remove your attention from her world and redirect it to your own. That's Stoic power. No noise, just discipline. Attention creates perception. The moment you stop pouring into her, she realizes she's not the center anymore. And that mirror, it gets uncomfortable, because for the first time, she has to face what she really lost. Not just a man, but a man who had the strength to walk away and never look back. Let her feel the weight of your silence. Let her wonder. Let her watch your life grow without her in it. If you're done handing out attention to people who didn't earn it, if you're ready to protect your energy like your life depends on it, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My attention is earned, not given. Number 6. Her mind plays tricks. When you go quiet. When you go quiet, her mind gets loud. That silence you gave her, it doesn't stay empty. It gets filled with questions, assumptions, doubts. She starts replaying every conversation, every moment, every word you didn't say. And the most dangerous thing you can ever do to someone who expected your weakness is give them nothing. See, people fear what they can't predict. And when you stop reacting, when you disappear into silence, you become a mystery. That's when her imagination starts running wild. Is he seeing someone else? Did he stop caring that easily? Was I really not that important? She thought she had you figured out. She thought she knew how you'd fall apart. But instead of chaos, you gave her calm. Instead of noise, you gave her nothing. That quiet, it flips the script. It puts her in your position, wondering, waiting, unsure. That's the reversal. That's dark psychology. She assumed silence meant weakness, but now she realizes silence is power. It's control. It's composure. And when she can't get a reaction, when she can't get a read on you, she starts craving the very attention she once took for granted. The absence becomes heavy, because the story she told herself that you'd chase, that you'd crack, that she could always come back, is falling apart. You're not just gone, you're unavailable, unreachable, unbothered, and that's what really haunts her. Let her mind play tricks. Let her overthink. You don't need to say a word. Your silence speaks in a language she now has to decode, and that mystery keeps her up at night. If you're done explaining yourself, If you're ready to let your silence say everything, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Silence is my response. Number 7. Mystery makes you magnetic. You want to know what keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. It's not the things you said, it's the things you didn't. The unanswered questions, the sudden shift, the fact that you didn't chase, didn't explain, didn't react. That's what hooks her, because mystery is magnetic. See, most men overshare. They spill every emotion, every thought, every motive. They tell her exactly how they feel, exactly what they want, and exactly how much they're hurting. But when you become a man of few words and even fewer reactions, you stand out, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you genuinely don't need to be understood. That alone is rare. That alone is powerful. Mystery forces her to stay in her own head. She replays the breakup. She replays the silence. She stalks your page looking for clues, anything. She wants to understand what you're thinking, where your heart is, if you've moved on. And the more questions she asks herself, the more power you gain. Because she's no longer in control of the narrative, you are. Stoicism teaches you to say less and observe more, to move in silence, to protect your peace by revealing nothing. You don't need to update her. You don't need to clarify your absence. Let her wonder. Let her feel the tension of not knowing. And the best part? When mystery becomes your default, everyone around you starts leaning in, not just her. Because men who are unreadable, composed, and controlled, they attract attention without even trying. And attention given without effort, that's respect. If you're done being an open book for people who don't read, if you're ready to let curiosity work in your favor, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Mystery is my magnet. Number 8. You walked away, but you didn't fall apart. She thought walking away would break you. She assumed you'd spiral, stop showing up, stop working, stop caring. That's the story she told herself. He needs me. Without me, he'll fall apart. But you didn't. You stayed calm. You stayed solid. You disappeared, yeah, but not into darkness, into focus. You didn't fall apart. You elevated. That's what rattles her. Not the fact that you left, but the fact that you didn't collapse afterward. You didn't turn bitter. You didn't lash out. You didn't post sad quotes or beg for her back. You just went quiet and started building. Your life got sharper. Your goals clearer. Your energy cleaner. That's terrifying to someone who thought she was your center. And let's be real, part of her wanted to see you weak. She wanted that silent satisfaction of knowing you were lost without her, that her absence left you incomplete. But when she saw the opposite, that's when the regret hit, because now she's no longer a chapter in your life. She's a closed one, done, archived. You walked away, but with your head high, your heart intact, your mind locked in. That's not just stoic, that's unbreakable. And when a man becomes unbreakable, he becomes untouchable. That's when people start to realize what they lost. Not just a partner, but a man with the discipline to walk away from what no longer serves him and level up. This is what stoicism looks like in real life. Calm strength, quiet rebuilding, no explanations, no revenge, just pure focus. If you're done falling apart over people who walked away, if you're ready to rise in silence and speak through results, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My strength is in my stillness. Number 9. She feels the void, not your words. You could have poured your heart out. You could have told her everything she meant to you. You could have sent paragraphs explaining the pain, the confusion, the betrayal. But none of it would have landed the way your absence did. Because words fade, words get ignored. But energy lingers. And when you leave silently, when you disappear without a trace, she doesn't hear your voice anymore. She feels the void. It's not about what you said. It's about what you stopped saying. The good morning texts, the late night check-ins, the inside jokes, the consistency. It all vanished. And now she's sitting with a silence she didn't expect. A silence that isn't just quiet, it's heavy, because that void, that's your power, reclaimed. People don't feel words, they feel absence, the sudden shift, the emotional gap. And when you pull back completely, when you remove your energy, your attention, your presence, that's what makes her reflect. That's what makes her question everything. Was he really hurting this whole time? Did I underestimate him? Did I push away the one man who actually cared? You didn't need to say a word to make her feel it. You just had to leave the space behind. Stoicism reminds us, don't explain your worth. Let your absence expose it. You don't need to argue, convince, or justify. You simply remove yourself from the equation and let the silence echo where your presence used to live. Because when a woman realizes the value of what she had after it's gone, no words can compete with that lesson. Let the void speak for you. If you're done using words to prove your worth, if you're ready to let your absence do the talking, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am felt even in silence. Number 10. The return of the Stoic king. You didn't crumble. You didn't chase. You didn't need to win her back to prove anything. Instead, you did what most never have the discipline to do. You went silent, you healed in private, and you rose. Not louder, not angrier, just better, sharper, stronger, clearer. That's the return of the Stoic king. This version of you, he doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't seek revenge. He's indifferent, not because he doesn't feel, but because he's mastered control. He doesn't go back to what broke him. He learns, he adapts, and he walks forward with his head high and his peace protected. And now she sees it. Not just the silence, not just the distance, but the transformation. You used to reach out. Now you don't even check in. You used to explain. Now you let your presence speak for itself. You used to love loudly. Now your peace is louder than anything you could say. You've become a man she can't predict, can't manipulate, and can't replace. That's Stoic power. It's not coldness, it's control. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've seen what love without respect looks like, and you refuse to settle for it again. You're not bitter. You're just done negotiating with chaos. You're focused on your mission, your discipline, your evolution. That's what separates kings from the crowd. And here's the thing. Once you've tapped into this level of self-respect, you don't go back. Because you've seen what it's like to stand tall after being torn down. And nothing tastes better than that silence turned strength. This is your comeback. Quiet, solid, real. If you're done playing the emotional puppet, if you're ready to reign in your own life with calm, power, and presence, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I've returned, unshaken, unstoppable. Welcome back, King.